Okay, so we are dealing with mixture problems in our studies of systems of equations. And one problem out of your textbook reads like this. It has a graph, and it says the following bar graph shows the milk fat percentages in 3 dairy products. How many pounds each of whole milk and cream should be mixed in order to form 200 pounds of milk for cream cheese? Now, if you don't have the graph in front of you, I will just write out what those percentages are. So for whole milk, it tells us that that is 4%. And milk for cream cheese is 8%. And cream is 30%. Okay, so what we have to do here is think about what we have and what we're looking for. We know at the end that our final product after mixing the whole milk and the cream, we should get this. And we can tell that it should be an 8% solution. So I know that in the end, I should have an 8% solution. And there should be 200 pounds of that solution. That would be the milk for the cream cheese. Okay, so now we have to figure out, well, how do we get that? What is that going to equal? And so I know that I'm going to have to mix my whole milk and I'm going to have to mix my cream. So one way that you can kind of think about this is that we know basically that our x plus our y is going to equal this at the end. So if you think about the amount of milk, so the pounds of milk, oops, I can't spell today, sorry, plus the pounds of cream are going to equal 200. So now think about this as being x, and this as being y, and that is all equal to 200. Solve for one of these variables here, and I'll just say that the cream, or y, is equal to 200 minus x. Okay, so now we can kind of take that information as it relates to the pounds, but we still have to relate it back to a percentage. So this, I like to think about mixture problems in the following way. I like to say that the percent of 1 times amount 1 plus the percent of the second times the amount of the second is equal to a solution percentage times a total amount. Okay, so now we know what this part is already. So we know that that part was 0.08 times 200, because we know that it's 200 pounds in the end. So now we have to kind of think about, okay, so in terms of x and y, so if you think about this as being the milk and this as being the cream, and we called that x before and we said that this was y. So now think about what we know about the milk. We know it's 4%. So now you're just basically plugging them in. And we don't know what the amount was, so I call that x. And then think about your percentage of the second. We know that the cream was 30%. And I had solved that for y, and we said that that was equal to 200 minus x. So I'm plugging that in here. This way, everything is all in terms of one variable instead of two, which is really great. So now you simply solve this. So you'll have 0.04x plus 60 minus 0.3x, and that will equal 16. Okay, and then if you combine your like terms, you're going to get a negative 0.26x. Don't let that negative scare you right away, because on the other side you get a negative 44. We obviously can't have negative pounds, so if you should get something ever that's negative, that would be a clue that you're maybe not on the right path. But in this case, we're dividing also by a negative, so I know that my answer is going to be positive. And you're going to get x is equal to approximately 169.23 pounds. Okay, so I know that that is how many pounds of milk. And now we just simply plug that back into our x plus y equals 200, and we can figure out the pounds then for the cream. So if I know that it's 169.23 plus y equals 200, you can simply go ahead and solve then for y. So hopefully that helps, and I think, let's see, what do you get there? 30.77-ish, I think, pounds for y, so that would be the cream. So for most of these problems, it's simply kind of following, what we had up here initially, where you really want to think about, for any kind of mixture problem, you can kind of think about just using that formula. But, they're giving you different pieces, and so it's kind of hard sometimes to figure out what they're asking for. I think the hardest part about this problem was just, even when I read it the first time, and I saw the 200 pounds of milk for cream cheese, I was confusing that with the milk and the cream. And then I had to look at the graph again to see that, oh, there's a milk for cream cheese right there. So sometimes it's just kind of taking a step back and looking at what you're given again, and then, plugging it in appropriately and kind of knowing what you're dealing with. So I hope that helps with this particular type of problem, but certainly if there are others, do let me know. Thanks so much.